to The Executive's View, the sports podcast where the stakes are high and the debates are fierce. Please welcome your host, Aaron Sirius Simmons, alongside co-host Barry DeVille Jordan. Each week, we bring you into the boardroom where the elite minds of sports converge. From the gridiron strategies to the business behind the ball, we tackle the hard-hitting questions and give you an insider's perspective. So pull up a chair and join us at the table where champions are made and legends are born. This is The Executive's View. Let's get down to business.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Executive's View. This is the view from on top, man. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with the executives on a Tuesday night. And I do appreciate that. You guys know how I get down, man. If you see the show, share the show. We're all over the place, man. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spotify, TikTok. We're doing big things in big places, and definitely want to take everybody along for the journey. I don't do this by myself. I got a slew of brothers that are ready to chop it up and talk about everything around the world of sports, man. My man Villain's in the building. What's up, Villain? How we doing this evening, sir? You on mute, my guy. We'll go ahead and deal with him in a minute, man. Larry, talk to me, man. Where's your head at? How you doing, buddy?
Man, look, I'm trying to maintain my calm tonight, bro. That's what I said I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be calm. I'm gonna be collective. I'm gonna keep a cool head tonight.
I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if that's possible. Villain, what's up, my man? How you doing? You got your audio fixed?
Yeah, you can't hear me?
I do now.
All right. Hi.
Hello, sir.
Yankee connection. That's what it is.
You starting this already. I see.
That's my guy, man. CK, what's up, my guy? How you doing this evening, sir?
Well, Aaron Sirius Simmons and Barry the Villain Jordan and Larry G. How's it going, fellas?
What's up, big dog, man? Good to see you guys, man. I'm sure Coach will be by here in a minute, but I wanted to start actually right there in basketball, man. Basketball season has come to a close. We have crowned the champion. OKC Thunder are your 2024-2025 NBA champions. I feel a type of way about it, but ultimately, wire to wire, this ball club was, arguably the best ball club in the association, and they managed to capture the title. I'm not going to sit here and act like other that I've seen online, well, if this person didn't get hurt, if that person didn't get hurt, if this person didn't get hurt, sometimes those bricks, go your way and you got to capture it. With that being said, Villain, talk to me, man. We got ourselves a champion. OKC is the 2024-25 champion. Where's your head at with a big dog?
Congratulations to the Thunder. I mean, they won the series. I mean, you can say whatever you want about injuries or what have you. They won. Plain and simple. I think they had the better player on the best team, and they play really good defense. And it didn't help that Halliburton was hurt. Probably shouldn't have played. But hindsight, obviously 2020. But we know calf injuries are not, they're conducive to these injuries, to these Achilles injuries, and but nothing. You can't take anything away from what OKC did the whole season. And into the playoffs. So congratulations to them. And, it's just a shame nobody watched it. Or nobody celebrated with them. They couldn't pop the bottles.
It was weird, right? Like, you go in the locker room and, you know what I'm saying? It's not joyous and exuberant. You ain't seeing people.
No, it was. They just didn't know what to do. Like, so what do we do now?
Right, like what do we do with our hands? What do we do with our hands? Like,
what do we do?
It was weird, man. Larry, talk to me. Where's your head at, bro?
Hey, that's actually a good thing, dude. Like, real talk, man. Like, they're a bunch of 22, 23-year-olds that don't do nothing but hoop and don't drink. So I have no problem with that. Hats off to OKC, man. This is my thing about OKC, man. Regardless if they are rival or whatever the case may be, right? I like good basketball. And I like seeing basketball played the way basketball should be played. And they're one of the few teams that play that way. They play where you get open three, shoot the three. If not, shoot the mid-range. It's open. work the ball around. If you got, throw it in the post, throw it back out the post, cut the things that make basketball fun. And I like seeing it. If people that missed the series, there was actually some really good games. And game 7 actually was one of the highest rated viewerships games of NBA Finals in a while. I guess people
I
tuned in
wonder
to watch
why.
that because it was game 7.
Yeah. Game
I'm
1
kind
through
of
6. Holler at me with the ratings for that.
yeah,
Lowest
so
forever.
real talk, they didn't have no competition either because hockey had already wrapped up. So they didn't have no competition, and those hockey games were actually getting some really good ratings too. But I'll say this,
But
right?
game 7's game 7.
Yeah, it's game
Right?
7. And, people
Yeah.
don't want to see that. But I'll say this too. Halliburton injury aside, I'm tired of people keep saying about Halliburton injury. We knowingly know going into that game that he had the injured calf, right? He started the game off hot, but who's to say with a calf injury, who's to say he wouldn't have tightened up and not been able to play? Because he did miss a game before with that calf injury. And these people, they want to make that the narrative and kind of taken away from what OKC has done. And I don't want to take that away from them because I look at it from the standpoint of, Halliburton goes down. So what happened if the Cavs team wasn't fully decimated? No. Does Indy beat a fully healthy Cavs team? If Tatum goes down, who's to say if Boston wouldn't have been in the Eastern Conference Finals? So if you're not gonna take it away from these other teams about injuries and you're gonna make it about Halliburton's injury, then don't do that. Don't do that to OKC. Give them their props, give them their flowers. They won the game. Injuries are a part of the game, and they won. So I'm good with it.
I mean, honestly, to your point, and CK, I'll come to you here in a minute. I mean, there have been so many, let's call them fortuitous situations that has
Yeah.
helped teams throughout the duration of this NBA run. Get championship. I'm thinking back to when Kawhi Leonard got hurt.
Yeah.
On the closeout, Kevin Durant getting hurt.
Yeah.
When he's Golden State and Toronto, and the list goes
Draymond
on and
suspension.
on. Huh?
That's the only one that burns my bridge is Draymond suspension.
The Draymond suspension. CP3 getting hurt in the playoffs against Golden State. Again, I try not to talk about it as a Rockets fan, but it is what it is. Like injuries and things of that nature are part of the game. And so as much as I hate OKC and I despise them so much, we cannot sit there, to your point, Larry, and give poo-poo what OKC did versus Indiana on the while not doing the same thing for the Cavs who've been injured and Jason Tatum tearing his Achilles and Porzingis being in and out of the lineup and things of that nature. So I refuse to subscribe to that narrative. OKC won it.
But this is, and I'll kick this over to Chandler. But this crazy is that Halliburton's injury has actually been getting more publicity than OKC winning the championship, bro.
Well, I think because of how it was handled. For example, like Halliburton goes down, Shea goes over, daps him up or whatever the case may be. OKC goes on to win that game, but the heartfelt moment after the game, seeing Halliburton on the crutches, dapping up his teammates and all the things, like the Indiana Pacers this year was that feel-good Cinderella story. Like nobody picked them to win any series. It was March Madness in June. You know what I'm saying? Nobody picked. They weren't picked to win any series that they were in. They managed to, catch fire, catch lightning in the bottle. Beat the Knicks in the manner in which they did, and all the things that it took for them to get to the NBA Finals. So this Pacers team captured the hearts of America more than I think OKC winning the thing. And so I feel as though that's why it's getting a lot of publicity. And keep in mind, this is the third injury, Achilles injury this whole postseason. Dame Lillard went down, Jason Tatum went down, and Tyrese Halliburton went down. So I think there's good. Huh?
I mean, this is my thing. I mean, I feel like, man, if people get wrapped up in that, then that's for casual fans. But real fans know, next to OKC, the Indiana Pacers had the second best record after the All-Star break, bro. They've been hot.
I get it. I get it. Like
they've been hot. So don't give them no Cinderella slip up, bro. And they been
No, I mean let's keep it a bean though. Were the Indiana Pacers favored in any series they
no
played?
nobody favors them,
They
but
weren't. So the
but they was hot.
The Cinderella mindset is that nobody picked them to win. Nobody picked them to go to the ball. They managed to avoid all the stuff and overachieve, get themselves in a position to be in a game 7 on the road for OKC. And boom, the injury happened. Things took place the way they were. Let's not forget, the injury took place. The Pacers were winning that ball game at halftime. Let's not make no.
And that's why I really was like, don't take that away from them because they were winning without him.
Right.
Yeah. But
so, CK, talk to me, man. Where's your head at, bro?
So first off, I'm gonna need Anthony Volpe fired into the sun. Yeah, I need that to happen right away. But in full disclosure, I'm a Knicks fan. Okay, so I hate the Indiana Pacers. I hate the Indianapolis 500. I hate the state of Indiana.
Dang, not the state of Indiana.
Okay, the entire state. Okay, I hate the Indiana Fever. If it says Indiana in front of it, I don't like it. All right. Miss me with Tyrese Halliburton and his grandstanding. Oh, look at him. He's such a trooper. He's on crutches and cheering his teammates on. He's such a good guy. Miss me with all of that. Miss me with all of it. That was a photo op moment. Miss me. Okay. I don't believe they would have lost or won. I don't believe they would have won whether he got hurt or not. Okay. The fact that everybody wants to keep talking about his injury is just a backhanded way to say it's a way to take a backhanded swipe at Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. All right. Because now the narrative is, well, they didn't go through anything to get there. They didn't celebrate enough. Mm-hmm. They didn't do this enough. They didn't do that enough. They didn't pop enough bottles. Oh, they popped too many bottles. Pick the criticism. Figure out what it is that you don't want to give this team credit for. Shy was he was too calm. Miss me with all of that. Okay, the better team won. Better team was supposed to win. I told y'all Rick Carlisle is a choking dog. His team lost. Rick Carlisle lost. Y'all told me Rick Carlisle was going to be the difference because Mark Daigneault, what did he know? Rick Carlisle, he's a championship coach. He's the reason the Mavericks won the championship. No, that was Jason Kidd and Tyson Chandler and everybody else they brought over there. Rick Carlisle was a passenger on that bus, just like he was a passenger now. Tyrese Halliburton averaged less than 20 points a game. He averaged less than 20 points a game.
You didn't have to score much though, bro. Like
that's not his game. That's not his game.
Okay, the strength of the pack was the pack.
No, we're not doing this because then don't tell me that him not being there is the reason they lost.
I'm thinking about saying that.
If all he is a role player.
Hold on. Nobody said he's a role player, and nobody said that.
I'm saying he's a role player.
He's not a role player. Stop.
What is he? He's not a star. He's not a superstar.
I didn't say he was a superstar.
He's not a star.
But don't say he's a role player. You can't be a role player. He's an all-star. He's an all-star. Come on.
Bro.
He's an all-star. You can't call an all-star role player like that. Come on, man. That's not fair.
He's a catalyst.
I am being fair. Blue guys have been all-stars.
I mean, the man averaged 18 points and damn near 10 assists a game.
AC Green was an all-star. He was a role player.
He averaged 18 and 10.
We're not talking about right now.
18 and 10.
Come on, you got to listen.
Are you telling me 18 and 10 is the reason? Come on, man.
Chandler,
no. I am not going to go down this rabbit hole with y'all.
To call him a role player is disrespectful.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
He has a role on that team, and he plays it because
everybody has a role on the team.
And everybody's a role player.
Facilitate and to run the offense. What are we talking about?
You just proved my point. He's a role player.
LeBron James is a role player now. I guess.
Everybody has a role on the team. Michael Jordan had a role on the team to score.
Yes, Michael Jordan's role was to make sure they won.
Tyrese
Halliburton's role, okay, is to stand there and do choke signs and then have instant karma. Yeah, listen, I don't like the man. I'm I'm gonna be very clear.
I don't like him either, but I'm not gonna disrespect him and call him a role player. Come on.
Okay, I will, but you don't have to, Barry.
Jordan Poole is a role player. I mean, let's be
Jordan Poole is absolute hot garbage. We ain't even.
We'll get to Jordan Poole in a minute.
Chandler, he's one of the better point guards in the league. You can't call him a role player.
He averages 18 and 10.
And
18 points and 10 assists a game.
I wish I had a role player on the Knicks that averaged 18 and 10. Listen, I wish Chandler, you know I don't like Halliburton, man. You know I don't. But let's call a spade, man.
Yes, I'm calling him a bum.
No, you call everybody a bum. That's not nice.
Dude, like I said, I think he's a catalyst for that team, bro. He gets the engine started, bro. The star is Siakam. Siakam is the one who leads them in scoring. He's the one who bails them out.
He's here one game, gone the next.
Okay, so him getting injured is not the reason they lost. The reason I'm saying what I'm saying is because if we're going to keep taking swipes at Oklahoma City, then I'm going to start taking swipes at the Pacers. Because that's literally
whoa. Who took swipes at Oklahoma
When I say we, I'm talking about the media in general. I ain't talking about us.
Because that's a different we. Like,
okay?
That's them.
Because
I don't speak no French around here.
All of these excuses to not give Oklahoma City credit. Now, granted, if they come from Sonics fans, then I have no problem with it because I still hate the fact that team is still not in Seattle. But everybody else, the fact that Brian Windbag, okay, felt the need to go on a 25-minute diatribe about and use the word tragedy. He used the word tragedy.
See, I haven't watched anything. I haven't heard anything about it. So, give me the real, like the short version of what he said, because I don't know what he said.
He said that it was a tragedy that happened. It was a basketball tragedy.
He said he hurt his soul.
That Oklahoma City won.
No, that Tyrese Halliburton got hurt, and we were robbed. We were robbed of a real Game 7. His exact words.
I mean. I can see his point, but I'm not going to use that as an excuse to say like Oklahoma City didn't deserve to win it. Like, yeah, he got hurt in the first quarter. The only reason I flipped to the game because I got the messages from you guys that he got hurt. Yeah. But to say that robbed us of a Game 7 is ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
My point.
Again, keep in mind the Pacers were winning at halftime. They came
exactly. Yeah.
Right.
They came out in the third quarter.
Let's give Oklahoma City credit. Let's give Oklahoma City credit. The better team won. No, they're not a dynasty. No, they're not a dynasty in the making. Can we just?
Oh yeah, see, I saw that too. Well, I think they're a dynasty in the making, but like I heard, like, are they one of the greatest teams of all time? I'm like, are we really that desperate for clickbait on ESPN that's what we're gonna have a conversation on? Like they're the greatest team of all. Like, really? Really?
What it is let me jump in real quick. What it is it's the fact that there's parity now, and people want to see those dynasties again. So they want to, crown these dudes and say, oh, they're gonna probably win the next 3 or 4 championships. We know what happened last time somebody said not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. We know what happened on that.
Yeah.
Hopefully next time they'll know how to pop the bottles so they can celebrate properly. Half of them are illegal, right? They're not legally.
Can we not promote alcoholism? Can we not promote that?
Yeah. I mean,
no, come on. Of course, you're gonna do that. That's what you're supposed to do after the championship.
No, you're not. You're supposed to do what you do, not drink for the sake of drinking.
Yeah.
All right. So next time Oklahoma City wins the championship, let's get.
There will not be a next time.
Plus, it's Indiana. They're supposed to be drinking milk anyway, like they do at the Indianapolis 500. They should have been bottles.
Have some Yoo-hoo or something like that. But no, like I honestly, like I feel like it's a disservice all the way around because these two teams that nobody, Oklahoma City you expected to be there, but not Indiana. It wasn't a final that anybody asked for or wanted, if you want to be honest. And I feel like they're just talking about everything but the fact that Oklahoma City won the chip. To your guys' point, and I feel like that's
the least interesting finals since the Sonics and Bullets went back to back.
Yeah, I mean, you can go back to Detroit, San Antonio. That was a pretty poor series. There was
I mean,
two good
there were
Yeah,
no
teams,
but
but
more
all
people
stars. There
remember
were no
that
mega
Pistons
stars in this
team.
thing. Like
More
Steph
people,
wasn't in it. LeBron wasn't in it. KD wasn't in it. Like the
yeah,
way
star power. You
OKC,
built the league on stars.
right? And so the way OKC and for that matter, the Indiana Pacers got there was on defense and team basketball.
right?
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And so I can understand why people like yourself, Villain, didn't watch much of it. And
I didn't
the
watch
numbers,
because of my hatred for Halliburton
I mean, I
Yeah,
understand. I understand it.
and the
But like,
Pacers. I don't want anything to do with the Pacers. Like
I
people
mean,
ask me,
again,
why don't you root for the Pacers? If you can say you lost to the eventual champion. I'm like,
no,
man,
no,
I'm
miss
not
me
doing
with
that.
that
man,
one.
F the
That's
Pacers.
not.
I would never root for the Pacers. My
But
hate
it
for
was
Reggie Miller
real
goes
talk. It
deep.
was some
It's in
good.
the
It was
veins. I
some
would
good
never.
basketball though. Real
It
talk.
was. It
No,
really was.
I
I
believe
agree
there
with
was
that.
good basketball, but the problem is no one cared. And I
Yeah.
go back to the Sonics Bullet series, bro. That was Elvin Hayes. Okay, that was Dennis
Mhm.
Johnson, young Dennis Johnson. Okay, not fat Dennis Johnson on the South. That was young Dennis Johnson. That was Gus Williams, bro. Those were some. There was some. We had some. That was Lenny Wilkins was the coach. Okay, and people don't even remember that those two teams each won a championship.
I love her so much.
So what it comes down to is, yeah, because of how they built the league up, nobody cared. And now you got to try to make up these storylines to kind of get people to care.
Right.
I mean, I think the whole dynasty thing, the whole all of that. To your point, CK, is them fabricating stories to get clicks or get us talking about it, whatever case may be, and it's working because honestly, I respect what OKC was able to accomplish this year, but as we've seen today and throughout the past couple of weeks, this league is turning over like crazy. And so if OKC thinks it's going to roll the ball out there next year and go on this magic carpet ride, it's definitely hard, now that you're the hunted and not the hunter.
Exactly.
You feel me? I mean, again, no disrespect to what Boston went through, but Boston didn't make it back.
Well, I'll go with this, and this is what I'm gonna finally say on this, right? I'm gonna say, like, if you're a fan of basketball, hopefully this kind of draw you in a little bit because OKC plays real basketball, but the fact that they trying to discredit them, you got to remember it wasn't effect of you when you play OKC making it out of the third quarter. Make it out of the third quarter. That's their strengths. That's when they go on these crazy runs. But they have never lost a game after a loss in the playoffs. So for people to sit up and try to discredit them, don't discredit them. I think that they're getting a lot of this dynasty talk because the way that they're built. Hats off to Stan Presti because he built a really young team and they still sitting on like 12 first rounders. Mm-hmm. I think that's the reason why people are starting to
15
that dynasty
15.
Talk.
That's
15.
Crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's something like that. It's something
15
crazy.
First round picks, and they could lock up Shea, Chet, and Williams this offseason. And
if I'm them, I do it right now.
Under the second apron.
Yeah, and they still be under the apron. Because you see, that's what's happening with a lot of these teams. They get into that second apron and they gutting teams, trying to get back under it. So it's
see,
crazy.
we talked about it too, Larry. Like Boston was going to have to do some things, and you see it happening already. Mm-hmm. So, and OKC, that's why you can have a dynasty.
Yeah, and I think that's why people are talking that dynasty talk because of the way how the team is young, the way it's constructed, and they're still sitting on a boatload of picks. I'll go even further. This is why I say, give hats off to Sam Presti. He's sitting on all these first round picks, and if you notice, like a lot of the good guys that actually play really good on the team, they wasn't top 5 picks.
No,
Jalen Williams was what, like 8 or 9.
No, Jalen Williams was a 54 pick or something like that.
Yeah, he was second round.
Second round, 54 pick.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Jalen Williams.
No, Jalen Williams was like 12 or something.
No, that's Jalen Suggs you thinking of. You're thinking of Jalen Suggs.
No. Jalen Williams.
The guy who played next to Shea.
Yeah, we actually.
bro.
No, he wasn't a second round pick. He was
Well,
like
we'll double check it and then we'll
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
not
fact
I'm
check
pretty
ourselves.
sure.
We'll fact check.
we were talking about the other Jalen, because there's 2 Jalens on that team, but the main guy, he was like number 10 or 12 or something like that.
Yeah, one of the
And-
Jalen's was the second round, and one was the
one of
first
them was, but
Yeah,
not
yeah,
the
yeah,
star.
yeah.
The star when he was like number 9 or 12. Or
You know
something
what? He's right. He got drafted 12th overall to Santa
Yeah.
Clara.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so think
So
about
other
it.
Jalen. All right.
Somebody like
Mhm.
Sam Presti who can pull somebody and say, you know what, I don't have the first pick, I got the 12th pick, but I'm gonna draft somebody who's really good. A lot of those guys are like second rounders. A lot of those guys are like Lou Dort is literally undrafted, bro.
Alex
Yeah.
Caruso, G Leaguer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
dude. Like,
And they have a lot of guys in their bench that haven't even pulled up yet.
yeah,
You know what mean?
I think that's the reason why people are giving him that credit, because Sam Presti can spot talent and he can pull guys in that fit that system, and they don't have to be top 5 picks.
But look at where OKC was when they had one of the big 3 left, right? When they had like got rid of Katie left, Harden left. They only had Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
Then they trade him away. They had Carmelo and
Paul George.
They
Paul
still had
George.
some good they still had some pretty good teams when they still had
they
Westbrook.
had some good teams, but nobody thought once they got rid of Melo, once they got rid of those players, they were at the point where they were just sitting on picks, and it was like Presti had all this talent and couldn't do anything with it. Like he was one of the guys, like one of those GMs that you didn't really know, okay, can he actually put a winner together? And he did it. So you got, to your point, Larry, you got to give Presti credit. Like if anybody on this squad deserves credit, it's Presti for how he rebuilt this team, a team that nobody really wants to go to Oklahoma City.
It's
Now,
not a destination.
No.
It's not a destination. So you have to be very creative how you build this team, and he did it.
I mean,
And
he could spot talent, because I'm gonna put it like this, dude. Coming out of that draft, James Harden wasn't no top player. He was
No.
not.
He was a top 5
He was
player,
very
but
underrated. He was very
underrated.
Good,
coming out
but
of
nobody
college.
expected him to be him. Westbrook
Right,
wasn't
yes,
the top
yes.
player coming out of that draft, but people knew Westbrook was good, but they didn't know he was gonna be that guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I said, Sam Presti, he can spot talent, and with the team that he already has and having those first rounders, he can spot some guys. Like that was the thing. What I think a lot of people started talking is dynasty talk, because as guys do come up for contracts, he'll have kind of like they did in the old school channel. You know how they did. Hey, Bird getting old, who's gonna be his replacement? Magic getting old, who's gonna be his replacement? He can start identifying, okay, this person is getting a little bit older. Do I want to overpay for them, or do I already got this other guy in the pipe work that that he's pretty good, that can take over for him?
But it's not just
that'd be a pretty good deal.
It's not just that he can spot talent, because a lot of gyms can spot talent. It's about player development.
That too.
They're actually developing the guys that they're drafting. They're and it's going to bleed into something else. So I'm not going to continue saying it, because where I want to go with this, but I'll wait till we get there, because there's a team that should be in the player development. But anyway, it's about player development. That's why when people were talking about Presti and kind of throwing rocks at him, I'm like, can we give him some time? Because we watched this man consistently put winning teams together. Now, did anybody think they would put a championship together? No. But no one should have doubted that he would put a winning team together. They lost KD. They lost Harden first. They still had a winning team. KD left. They just had Westbrook. They still had winning teams. They were still making the playoffs. Westbrook left. They still had winning teams. Everybody left. They still had teams that were threatening to make the playoffs, that were right there around the cusp of the play-in. The man
They built around CP. They built around PG 13. They built around Chris Paul, and that Chris Paul team wasn't how they made the playoffs. You know what I mean? Nobody thought that was a throw.
They got the Rockets fit. That was the bubble team.
Yeah, but nobody thought that team was going to make the playoffs, right? Seriously, that iteration of the Thunder,
right.
And that actually was a pivotal time, because then that's when they started stockpiling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when they started getting their picks and putting it all together.
I'll say this, and we know we got these 2 Knicks fans on the team, but dude, the West has been a gauntlet for how many years?
Mm-hmm.
So even if you did put together a good team, coming out of the West has always been it's been a tougher road for at least the last 20 years, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
The West is
because you had LeBron in the Cavs and basically nobody else in the East.
Yeah.
Right.
You had about 6 to 7 teams in the West that could get there at any given time.
The Rockets have literally been in the lottery 3 times with a winning record in the West. Didn't make the playoffs in the lottery.
Yep.
You literally have teams that are literally 10 games over 500 in the West that make the lottery. And like I said, you can put together a winning team. And I'm not saying that, he should have had more championships, but considering that level of competition, you can put together a really good roster and not make the finals or not win a championship, because that's been a long, hard road for a while. Those teams, and you having to go through the Golden State, that's why I give them a lot of credit too, because not just the fact that they won the championships, coming out of the West is not an easy road. It's not.
Yeah, that's why we got to be careful throwing around terms like teams failing and stuff like that. Just because you didn't make the playoffs or didn't go deep in the playoffs doesn't mean your team failed. It doesn't mean your team is not on the ascend. It doesn't mean that you don't have a good team. It just means you haven't got there yet. So with this whole break them up, they didn't get out the first round, break them up. Really? Really?
Breaking
I think people don't understand how hard.
Breaking news. Kyrie Irving has declined his $43 million option and will sign a 3-year, $119 million contract with the Dallas Mavericks.
We all knew that was coming. We knew that.
Yeah, it was just trying to get the money right. They were just in how many years? 2 or 3 years, I heard. And
he's finally found a home.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. As much crap as I give him, I'm happy for him because he's been nothing but a model citizen, a good leader in Dallas. And I think it was a good situation for him. And kudos to him, because I think the worst thing that could have happened was him signing that, opting into that contract, was 40-something million, but that wasn't. He wanted to be there. They wanted him there. They just needed to get the money right, and I'm glad for him.
Yep.
With that being said,
but I was gonna say real quick. I forgot what I actually was going to say. But
age kicking in, bro.
No, I know it's like too much chicken tonight. I eat too much chicken. No, I mean it's funny coming out of the West. To your guys' point, you want to say break these teams up, and I think you got to appreciate how hard it is to make it to the finals, especially today's age. Like, it's not easy to to win 4 rounds. It's not. You know what I mean? Like, it's a grueling series. Every series is different. That's why I was really upset when the Knicks didn't make it to the NBA Finals, because you don't get many bites at the apple.
That's right.
And next year in the East is, Chandler knows, like I know, it's not completely wide open, but it's pretty darn close. You got a Detroit team on the ascend.
Wizards
the Magic will be a little bit.
Wizards are on the come, bro.
I ain't gonna talk about the Wizards, but the Magic are coming, right? You got Boston; they're not going to be the same team. Pacers, they're going to be good, but they're not going to be as good as they are this year.
Well, I mean,
Cavs, we don't know.
All of the year.
Yeah, like you don't get many shots. So if the Knicks had any shot, it's next year. You know what I mean? So it's hard. It's hard. I think LeBron made it look easy coming out of the East, but he came out of the East. But it's not easy to make it to the finals every year.
Well, he did have a lot of help over there, but I'll say this, right? Yeah, he did. But I'm gonna say this, right?
Stacey, you don't get credit for second place. You don't get credit for second place.
Because I hate the Pacers, so I am constitutionally incapable of giving.
He said constitutionally.
I know, but no, Stacey, come on now. You were constantly sliding into our DMs with that Pacers.
Respect the queen. Respect the queen.
Respectfully. It was a wrestling channel. Respectfully, it was a wrestling channel. And she's sliding in with Pacers talk. I don't want to hear it. It was unacceptable. Stacey, I told her how much I love her, but I can't take that. It's like, listen. I cannot root for this Pacers. It's in my DNA. Okay, ever since this and Game 1 and '95, and I just can't. I can't.
Sound like a lot of hurt over there, man.
It hurts.
They
It
got
hurts.
representations in that
Painful
series,
memories,
though.
man. It's
Yeah,
painful.
no,
memories.
95. No, I told you we
Rick
lost
Smith.
that series.
Okay, I still want to find Rick Smits and step on his feet. All right.
I hate the Davis brothers. I hate Reggie Miller. I
Stacey,
don't
right.
like.
It sound
I
like a
don't
bunch of
want
tears
Mark
over
Jackson
there.
near my team with the shimmy. Mark Jackson doing the shimmy. It hurts. It hurts.
Like,
Rick
you know,
Smits and his bad feet running up and down the court. Miss me with all of them.
Davis brothers and all. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, the Davis brothers. Like I can't. Like I can't. Listen, anybody on that team, I still have. Derek McKee. Byron Scott with his old self.
And I like Derek McKee until he went there. Derek McKee was a
it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts.
And this is why she's the queen.
Hug me. Hug me. Don't reject me. I love you, Stacey, but it hurts. I'll give you my address.
I love you.
I love you, Stacey, but I hate the Pacers.
Yes.
It's hate in the blood.
Anyway, with that being said, we gotta.
Hey, when it's like Isaiah, his butthole's still hurting from 40 years ago.
He's still won't give Jordan no credit. He's like,
I took that personally.
Yeah, he took it personally.
Yeah, man, sometimes, man.
He still hate him like Mike over there.
Yeah,
we gotta move. Kristaps Porzingis was traded today to the Atlanta Hawks. It was 3-man deal. Brooklyn Nets received Terrence Mann. Atlanta's 2025 number 22 pick. Boston received George Niang. I'm mispronouncing his name.
Niang.
There you go. And a second round pick. And the Atlanta Hawks received Kristaps Porzingis and a second round pick. Man, talk about a
smart move by Boston.
Again, Boston's playing in a whole different league here, a whole different realm here. This is the particulars of the deal. CK, talk to me, man. Where's your head at with this one?
Boston, once again, we at some point we're gonna have to start giving Brad Stevens some credit for being a really good general manager. All right, he turned Drew Holiday into a younger, cheaper version of Drew Holiday, right? Because Anthony Simons can score, he can play defense. That he just didn't want to in Portland because they kept trying to replace him. So he's like, screw you. I'm just gonna keep jacking up shots. But that boy can play defense. He has it in him, and he's gonna play defense in Boston because they're not gonna let him not play defense. Okay. Now you get George Niang, so you got a shorter, more healthy version of Kristaps, again cheaper, right? They were pushing the third apron, and now under the second apron.
Yeah, they're on the second apron now.
They're under the second apron, and they added picks. Think about this. They got rid of money, right? Which usually means you have to give up picks. And they got picks. And Atlanta, what the hell are you doing, Atlanta? So
I don't think now.
Kristaps,
I don't think they know anymore.
Kristaps, who can't stay healthy. You got Trae Young, who nobody wants to play with. You think him and Kristaps getting along? You got another thing coming, bro. This is the smart being smart and the dumb being dumb. Bless you.
Thank you so much. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. Villain, where'd your head at with this one, man?
I mean, to Unk's point, it's a genius stroke because we knew at this point that Kristaps was not coming back because it was the money.
They couldn't afford to pay him that. Right? They couldn't afford to pay him, bro.
Yeah, they couldn't afford to pay him because you're paying your top two stars. But you flipped him and you actually got something back. You didn't have to throw him away or get rid of him for nothing. They got something back. I like Terrence Mann going to Brooklyn though.
Yeah, I like that.
Low key, I really think that's a good fit for him. And I think he's a good player that people aren't talking about in this trade. Mm-hmm. I think what Boston's able to do right now is, not to Unk's point, get under the second apron. But then they're going to be able to reload and get ready for when Tatum comes back. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if there's another Boston trade.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't I would be shocked if they moved Brown. I would be shocked
Brown
that
is being
White.
Brown is being floated out a lot. I mean,
they are getting a lot of offers for him.
right?
Like they people are willing to pay the price, and if you want to pull that trigger, I wouldn't be mad if they did it because it just resets everything, right? So, but I don't think they'll do it. But you have to listen. You have to take those offers, and see what you can do. But like I said, I think Terrence Mann is in a really good situation in Brooklyn where he can be the guy on that team. Brooklyn has a lot of picks. They can thank the Knicks for that. They're in a good position to finally get, out of that cellar and move ahead. So I think this was a good trade on all fronts, except for Atlanta. Atlanta doesn't know what they're doing. I think they just showed up to the party. It's like, where's my beer?
Like, I'm just here so I don't get fined.
Yeah, I'm just here if I don't get fined. I don't listen. I gotta harp on it because I don't understand. It's like you had Trae Young, you went to the Eastern Conference Finals, and you've made every move possible to get worse.
Got rid of John Collins.
That was dumb.
Yep. That was dumb.
Man. Come on, man.
They hurt her. They traded her, or did he leave? They hurt her. But they were trying to get rid of Collins. Yeah. I don't remember. But they were trying to get rid of Collins like the whole year. It was a bad situation with Collins. Yeah. But then they brought in Murray. It was just bad. It's been bad in Atlanta. And I mean, listen, I don't really particularly care for that team very much.
Well, you don't like Trae. You don't like Trae.
He's a self-made villain, but it's just weird that you have a good player, and they actually got a couple of good young players, and they do. Haven't figured it out.
They do.
Haven't figured it out.
Larry, talk to me, man. KP goes to Atlanta, Man goes to Brooklyn, man. Where's your head at with all this?
I was still trying to figure out how in the hell was the Nets over the salary cap. I was trying to figure that one out.
I think it was dead money, right?
Dead money.
Must have been dead money. They was like, well, they're trying to get a little bit under. I'm like, wait a minute, who getting paid?
Hold on. I'll pull it real quick.
Like, who getting paid any real money on the Nets? And they was like,
remember they had Kyrie, Harden, and Irving at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, who's still getting some Bobby Bonilla money from them or something? I'm just saying because I'm like, wait a minute. The Nets, but I like the fact that Terrence Mann gets over there. He can try to see what he can do because I actually liked him with the Clippers, dude. I think that dude.
I loved him with the Clippers.
He's blossoming. But I'll go even further, dude. And this is where I'm kind of like I'll take the Steve. Like is Atlanta money laundering? Because Porzingis is hurt, bro. Like Porzingis, we still haven't figured out what that illness is with him.
They got Claxton at 25 mil. You got Cam Jordan at 21 mil.
It's not a lot.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not a lot.
Yeah, but still. But the thing about that is now, I want to see what this collective bargaining is going to be like because Adam Silver, he made it where you can't load up with guys like that no more, and that's why teams are going over this cap.
No, the owners did that. Adam Silver didn't do that. The owners did that.
Well, you know what I mean.
Under his direction.
But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. But I'm gonna say this, right? One, I hope Kristaps gets healthy and they find out what's really wrong with him because he's a really good player, dude. I don't think he's gonna be in Atlanta. I think he's more of like that placeholder they had to get his salary off the books.
So you think he's gonna get bought out like Jalen Green?
Yeah, I think he's already gonna get bought out.
I can see him retiring for medical reasons. Then they get to wipe that money out completely.
I don't think he'll retire at this stage of the game.
Yeah,
unless it's something that they say.
It depends on the illness, bro.
Yeah,
that's bad. It's something wrong.
It is. But for Atlanta to take on his contract, knowing that he has that illness, they just trying to launder money over there.
Yeah.
And see.
I mean, he has 2 years, $60 million.
Yeah, but I don't think.
But you get up there this year and the next year. Well, you can still buy him out, right?
I mean,
buy him out.
The buyout will look like, but
if he can't play, then you get the medical exemption, and that salary comes off, bro.
Correct.
But then how can the trade go through? To Larry's point, if he's hurt, You can't claim the medical exemption
Well,
and then this trade go through.
They have to accept it. You could trade injured players.
Okay, all right. No, I'm just making sure because I didn't know if it's like a failed physical or something.
No, because
it's not like football.
They didn't fail him on the physical. They didn't fail him. They accepted his medicals.
Yeah.
So as long as you accept your medicals, you can have a leg hanging off. Oh yeah.
Nobody really has a clean medical if you play sports. Yeah, it's something they're gonna find. It's just willing.
Yeah, I mean, it's something. If it was disclosed, right? If it was disclosed and you know about it, then you still accept. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
It's like, you can have a degenerative knee, but if they feel like they can manage it, okay, cool, we'll take it on. But I'll go even further with this, right? I don't think Brown gets traded, dude. I don't think Tatum or Brown at this point is touchable in Boston, but everybody else is touchable on Boston.
But that's the thing. Why? Like, would you get rid of Derek White? That's done. Would you get rid of Anthony Pritchard?
You would.
For the write-off.
Listen,
I mean, I take that back.
Very good player. Derek White's a very good player. If you're able to get if you're able to get picks or something, you flip them. Why not?
Yeah. Yes. Because that's why you got Anthony Simon. You got Anthony Simon to replace the old Drew Holiday. You can flip Derek White for a young version of Derek White. There's a bunch of them out there.
Or for picks that and trust that Stevens can identify his replacement.
Yes.
But it's all about the salary. They are way over in salary.
Yep.
And we forget that the Celtics just sold that team, right, for $6 billion a year ago. So they got a mandate. They got a mandate. They got to move.
They're $107 million over. They have no cap.
I'll go even further with this, right? And I get it, they over, right? But you got to remember who Brad Stevens' mentor is. Danny Ainge.
Danny Ainge, yeah.
And Danny Ainge believed in two things: acquiring picks
and winning the deal.
And winning the deal. Well, let me step back. In three things: Celtic tradition.
Mm-hmm.
If you deliver a championship like Brown and Tatum did, and I'm not saying you take away from any other role players, he's going to hold on to them until he absolutely has to trade them.
Unless they ask to go.
Yes, they have to go. Or unless they ask to go. Because they're the two stars of the team.
Mm-hmm.
But anybody else? Hey, look. Like you said, Dennis Johnson. Oh, yeah, you don't like being around here? Yeah, you know what? Paris
was on the Hornets, right? Paris finished on the Hornets.
Robert Paris. They got him up out of there.
That's Celtics. That's how Celtics do business, dude. Celtics do business where the star player is going to stay there basically till they retire, or you just have to get rid of them. But all the other pieces, they like chessboards. They can be moved, dude. Remember what was it, Antoine Walker? Yeah, you don't like him around here? Yeah, you're a star.
That one hurt. That one hurt.
Yep.
You know what? Paul Pierce stayed to the absolute end. And then finally got rid of him.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think that he's gonna rebuild this team around Brown this season and the complementary players, because Boston is like New York. You can't put like the Lakers. You can't not put a crappy team out and not try to put a competitive product on the team.
Yeah.
You can't.
Hauser, Pritchard, Derek White, all gonna be available.
Yep.
And you have to keep Brown because that 1-2 tandem.
I'll take Derek White or Pritchard in Houston.
It's kind of like which guy? It's kind of like like I said, after they got rid of Walker,
and they'll take Cam Whitmore in Boston.
Yeah.
Okay. See, Boston just got younger and cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's a deal I believe Boston will make that deal right now.
Yep.
Why wouldn't they? To get under the cap? Like you said, they're over $100 million over it.
100 million over, yeah.
It's about making the team flexible this year.
Set up for next year. No space in the second apron. That's crazy. Yep. How the heck wow, that's crazy.
And
because you signed.
They were 20 some odd million over the second apron, and now they're under the second apron with one trade.
Yep,
two trades.
Yeah,
and like I said, you got to think about it, dude. They've already gotten their championship, so most of these teams, after they win the championship, they don't mind getting the team. Like, dude, real talking. I'm being for real, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, if the Knicks don't win the championship next season, they're gonna shred some payroll, dude.
No, absolutely, because that's their window. But Brunson gave them an opportunity to make to keep these players, but if they don't win, now you start moving pieces to that point. Like you have the money to sign Bridges, but if it don't work, especially when you have the East wide open, to your point, that's
y'all ain't got no cap space neither. What are you talking about?
Who?
No, I know. No, we have enough cap space to sign Bridges to an extension.
Bro,
because of Brunson's deal. Because of Brunson's deal, if the money's there, the money works.
Salary cap, and remember, we don't know what the new salary cap is going to be.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
They're under the second apron, so they have the mid-level.
They are under the second apron right now. Yeah.
They have enough to offer about a $6 million mid-level exception, and then they have veteran contracts that they can hand out.
I mean, the owners know what it's going to be already. We just don't know.
Well, maybe you talk to them more than I do.
But I think Boston is doing like Boston normally do, and Boston is gonna shred some of these key players, get more picks, get younger, guys that can fill those roles. Like I said, do I think Boston is gonna be top 4 in the East next year?
Yeah, they will.
Maybe
they will.
Maybe top 4, but will they be the number 1?
Top 4, top 5.
Yeah, they won't be number 1, but they'll be top 4 somewhere up in there, right where they want to be at. And if they can stumble across and somebody stupid and trade them a pick swap and they end up with the 3rd pick or the 2nd pick, that's right up their alley.
Washington Wizards will be the number 6 seed next season.
Okay, so I was about to get there, but the Washington Wizards have made a trade today. They unload Jordan Poole, bring over CJ McCollum, Kelly Olynyk, and a 2nd-round pick. Jordan Poole gets jettisoned to the Pelicans, and Sadiq Bey, and the number 40 pick. Unc is excited that Jordan Poole's out of the Metro.
Yes.
CJ
Why do you hate Poole so much?
Because he's a clown.
No, I know. I'm messing with. I know. I already know why you hate him so much. I already know. Listen, we all said that. We all know that he is. But honestly, I think I don't know where the Wizards will net out, but at least they're going in the right direction.
They're trying.
Getting rid of it. Yeah, it's addition by subtraction.
Correct. It is, but also because when I was living down in that area and getting to watch those games, because I had to watch them. There is a lot of good young talent. The coach is a good young coach. The problem was they had some veteran players who were losers. By loser, I mean they played with a losing mentality. I'm talking to you, Kyle Kuzma, and I'm talking to you, Jordan Poole. Okay? They got rid of Kyle Kuzma. Jordan Poole is gone. You brought in some professionals. Kelly Olynyk has earned his way in this league.
Okay?
Oh, absolutely.
All right?
The fact that he's still in the league is amazing.
Exactly. And let's be honest, Kelly Olynyk, and then we're talking relatively to other basketball players. He's far from the most skilled cat, all right, on the court, all right? But he has carved out a niche for himself in his game. He's on his, 10th year now? 10, 12 years now.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when he was drafted and you just thought he would be he might be serviceable.
He reminded me of the Birdman.
Right.
But he's better than Birdman because he can actually shoot. He's to Unk's point, he's made himself a better player in the league than he thought he would be when he was in college.
And you got McCollum, so you have now some adults in the room. With these young kids, and I'm telling you, bro, them young kids they got some talent there. I'm telling you, like I told y'all about the Orioles, like I told y'all about the Rockets. Do not sleep on the Wizards. Do not sleep on that team.
Okay. I just wish they would do the Bullets, man. Just change it back.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to happen here in the Metro. Larry, talk to me, man. Kelly Olynyk and CJ McCollum come to the Metro. Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey go over to the Pelicans. We said this on the Rocket Show yesterday. There's probably 4 teams in the Western Conference that probably don't have a shot to make the playoffs. The Pelicans are one of those teams. But make it make sense, man. I mean, where'd you head up with this one?
Money laundering.
Yeah,
laundering money. Hey,
where's
laundering money. Hey, look, you know what? Hey, we need to flush some money over here. You send them to New Orleans. I just hope he don't get lost on Bourbon one day and they have to put out an APB for that boy. But it's one of them trades to me. I kind of feel bad for CJ, dude. CJ is that consummate pro, right? He's pro. Though he's over the. I think isn't he still over the players union? Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah.
he's a really solid player.
He's taking from Chris Paul.
And I would love to see CJ on a contending team and not on one of these kind of like up and coming teams. Him and Dame, they put in their time in Portland. So I kind of feel bad for him, even though, like I say, they need people like that in Washington. They need people. They'll never get a number one pick. But like that. The league is making sure that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But hopefully they can get a good GM in to start surrounding them with some talent. I like the fact that Chris Middleton exercised his option, so they'll have Middleton and McCollum as adults in the room to say, "Hey, look, this is what we need to do. This is how you show up to work every day. This is how you train."
Marcus Smart still there too.
Yeah. Oh, but he was hurt last year, right? He's coming back this year, right? Yeah. So they got Marcus Smart. Like I said, I think that they might be I ain't gonna say 6, but they might be a 7, maybe an 8.
They'll sneak in. They'll be a play-in team.
Yeah, somewhere up in there.
And that's a long way that they've come.
They got some dogs, man. I mean, you got Corey Kispert, who's coming into his own as a solid shooter. Alex Sarr, who's a power forward who needs to get some get right in his system. So again, living here in the Metro, like I watched them a lot. So,
what pick do they have this year?
Huh?
What
pick do they have? I'll tell you in a minute. They have. I'll tell you in a minute.
And don't forget about the kid Koulibaly. That kid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like.
They have the 6.
If he can get his game together, I like Koulibaly. Yeah,
that's a nice pick because they can get a really good player to add on to what they have, and the whole thing is going to be Alex Sarr. It's going to come down to again because.
I didn't really see top 5 talent out of him.
He's a top 5 talent. I just don't know where his head's at.
And that's the thing with him.
So this is my thing. So I don't know about you guys. I know we probably will get there at some point. After the first 2 picks, man, the rest of this draft is crapshoots. Look like to me, dude. So
I mean, you got Dylan Harper, who everybody thinks is the number 2 pick, but then you got some decent players. Trey Johnson.
I mean, there's gonna be some guys that's gonna carve out, a good solid career, but I don't see any guys that's like, okay, yeah, they're the next missing piece. So, I mean, I honestly think that I wouldn't mind seeing because they need a real center in Washington. I wouldn't mind seeing them getting Malawach if he falls to him.
Yeah,
I think he will fall. I don't know how far he'll fall, but.
Who are you talking about?
Maybe 6.
The kid from Duke.
Malawach.
Oh,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, people think that they don't see him falling very far, but he wouldn't be a bad pick. I think Ace Bailey after the first 2 picks.
I think Ace Bailey is where they're going to land. Ace Bailey or Jeremiah
Bailey or Johnson are 2 coveted picks to me. So. I think Bailey's very underrated. I think he's a complete player you're going to find in the draft.
But if you take Bailey, then now you're taking minutes away from either Middleton or from Sarr, and I don't think that'll be a good thing for one of them.
You don't want Middleton starting, bro, because Middleton can't stay healthy. Middleton's coming off the bench.
He's a vet. I don't think.
Okay, I don't care.
He's coming off the bench, bro.
Okay, listen to me, Chris Middleton. If you want to maximize him, if you are smart, Washington, he comes off the bench so you can manage his minutes, and basically you're encasing him in plastic until the playoffs.
And then you unleash him.
There you go.
But I don't think they're gonna do that, dude.
Because
I do.
Well, here's the thing. You make this move for CJ McCollum. You have Chris Middleton exercise his option. You got the 6th pick. You got the 6th and the 18th pick in tomorrow's draft. So
drafts tomorrow?
Yeah, drafts tomorrow.
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so
you got some draft tomorrow because they got 5 first rounds tomorrow.
Right, you telling. But so I mean, if the Wizards are smart, they do what you alluded to, CK. But I just don't feel as though the powers that be here in Washington are going to allow Chris Middleton for the money he's making to come off the bench.
Yeah.
See, I understand that the old regimes and past regimes have done that. What I've seen this particular regime do the past 2 seasons is make smart move after smart move after smart move. So I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt here, because we just have to look at the way they've collected talent and the way, honestly, they've gotten rid of people that didn't need to be there, but they didn't just give them away. They got something for them. They got something for Kyle Kuzma. They got something for Jordan Poole. You see what I'm saying?
But do you think that Middleton accepts that role? Because even when he was hurt and he came back to the Bucks, he started.
I think if you have a real conversation with him, right, and explain to him the reasoning behind it, saying, listen, bro, come playoffs, you know you getting all these minutes, but I need you healthy. Okay. So work with me, right? And understand what we tried, the bigger goal. I think Chris Middleton is professional enough, mature enough, and is secure enough in who he is to understand that, but you have to have the conversation. Now, if they don't have the conversation, all bets is off.
I think the biggest thing that we got to realize is that he just opted into his options. So I believe those conversations that you're alluding to, CK, probably had to have already happened in order for him to opt in. Because again, we understand these players are temperamental. So if they don't get their minutes, if they don't do what they need to do, if there's a miscommunication, they're going to decline their option and test free agency.
Well, I'll put it like this, and we're not in Chris Middleton's camp when I speak for Chris Middleton. But if you're a vet like him and you're on one of these teams, I've only seen vets willing to take a bench role on a contending team, not willing to take a bench role on a promising up and coming team. And I don't know if he would take that. I don't know if he would take that. You would, like you said, I'm a Carmelo fan. Carmelo was like, you know what? I'll come off the bench because he had a chance to win a ring.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think most of these players like Chris Middleton will be willing to come off the bench unless it was for a team that's contending for a championship. And so I think that's why he opted in, because they told him, look, you're going to start, your value will be up. And if we're not in the contention toward, the All-Star break, we'll trade you to a contender. And I don't think a lot of these guys, especially like I said, when you get into like Chris Middleton age, they don't want to see their value being declined, bro. They don't want to see that.
Well, see, his value is going to be high no matter what, because even if he's not getting a lot of minutes, he'll be healthy. A healthy Chris Middleton,
he can hoop.
Is the value of a healthy Chris Middleton is high. I don't give a damn how many minutes he isn't playing. If he's healthy and I can get him for a stretch run, bro, what you want, man? What pick you want?
So I don't know. We'll see. But like I said, I just feel like, man, that move, I feel bad for McCollum, because like I said, McCollum, he needs to be on a team that's in true competition. I want to see what McCollum can do, because McCollum can stroke it, dude. Like, dude, real talk. Hey, if we was gonna move Green off the Rockets, I wouldn't mind McCollum coming in.
Well, he's better than Van Turnstile.
I wouldn't mind it.
So speaking of that,
I like that because McCollum, because he played with Dame, he can play the 1 or the 2. He can play either one. It don't matter.
Yep.
Speaking of that, I know me and Larry talked about it yesterday, but
so we don't have to talk about it today.
Before we move off of basketball, I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about KD is now a Houston Rocket.
We don't have you guys did a whole show on that.
I know, but you didn't get a chance to talk, so I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk about it. CK, I wanted you to give an opportunity to talk about it. What I think, what Larry thinks, what the rest of the group thinks is on our podcast from yesterday. Go and check that out, Launchpad.
Good show.
Good show. Very good show, guys.
Yeah, we had a good time with it. But not Larry, but Villain, talk to me, man. Where's your head at? Another guy that the Knicks should have got?
No, I didn't want I don't think it to fit. I don't think listen. I think it's a good move for the Rockets, despite what everybody might think. Honestly, I think it's a guy that has been there on a young team, can close. He doesn't need the ball in his hand to be like he doesn't pound the ball into the ground like some people do. Like, you can move the ball around, he can shoot it with a couple seconds on the clock kind of deal. So I think he's just going to be there to hoop. So I'm just surprised that, the amount that they got him for. All the rumors were that the Suns were going to have a king's ransom, and it didn't materialize to that, and now they're spending over $150 million on 4 guards. Make it make sense. That part bothers me more. Like, you got 4 guys that probably shouldn't be on the court together, and you're paying them over $150 million.
I don't think they play together, to be honest with you. They're talking about rerouting Jalen Green somewhere else.
Yeah, they have to, because it just doesn't make sense. You know, the Suns are going to Sun, and that's what they're doing. It just doesn't make any sense. But you know, I think it's a good situation for KD. Let's hope he can make something out of it.
TK, talk to me. Where's your head at, bro?
On the Phoenix side, it's ridiculous. We always talk. Larry always like talking about this person fighting in the locker room. Jalen Green and Devin Booker will absolutely fight if they were on the same team. They absolutely will. Okay.
We'll have a Netflix special in a couple years talking about bang them out.
Yeah, this is another example of Matt Ishbia not only having his hands in the pot, bro. He's the only one in the kitchen right now. I'm not here. Listen, I'm not here for the James Jones slander, because this ain't James Jones doing this. This is the owner thinking that he's smarter than everybody else, and he's the one who keeps making these deals. He's the reason Bradley Beal is there, and now you can't get rid of Bradley Beal. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, Jalen Green, two of those guys have to go. Okay, Bradley Beal needs to go. Okay,
he should have never been there.
Have to do to get rid of Bradley Beal. Whatever you have to do to get rid of Bradley Beal, you better do. All right, if you Phoenix. All right. From the Houston side, all I see is you shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic. Okay, that's all I see. Okay, last season you were Jalen Green and a bunch of sometimey guys, and yes, you got to the number 2 seed, but I paid for NBA League Pass, by the way, just so I could watch the Rockets games because of all the stuff that Larry kept talking about in the group chat. All right. First of all, Ryan Hollins, good God, shut up.
Oh, God, please.
Somewhere.
No Rockets fan wants to hear this brother talk. Not a one.
Then I watched the team. I watched the coach a team that didn't seem to have a clue. That didn't seem to have a clue about offense, where you had basically 5 guys run down the court and say, you shoot it. You shoot it. You shoot it. You shoot it. It was like an Oprah thing. You get a shot. You get a shot. You get a shot. Rebound. Oh, no, we don't rebound.
We never heard of her.
Pick and roll. I'm sorry.
Huh? Never heard of her either.
Did you say Tootsie Roll? No, I said pick and roll. Right? So you get rid of Jalen Green. Okay, if you don't trust in his talent and you think he's not going to develop, okay, fine. But wouldn't it have made more sense to keep him, bring in Kevin Durant for at least 1 season? Because right now, Kevin Durant's only under contract for 1 season.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I keep hearing, well, Kevin Durant can come and mentor. What Kevin Durant are you people talking about? Because that's not the Kevin Durant that's been in the league for how long has he been in the league now? 14 years?
Yeah.
He has never once mentored anyone. He has never once been any sort of a leader. He has said multiple times, I don't do that. I'm just here to hoop. So you bring in a guy on a team that needs a real adult, because apparently Ime Udoka is still chasing secretaries because he's too busy to coach his damn team. All right. He's too busy chasing whoever he's chasing to coach offense. Right. So you bring in a guy who's basically going to sit in the corner when all hell's breaking loose and be like, I don't know what y'all talking about. He's going to put his hoodie up. All right. He's going to sit over there. Be like, yo, bro, I'm just here to hoop. I'm just here to hoop. Hey, Kevin, what should we do? I don't know, bro. I'm just here to hoop. How does that make you better? I get it. If Rockets fans, and I'm not a Rockets fan, if y'all don't believe in Jalen Green, fine. But what's my man named? Blind Zoe? Is that his name?
Man Jesse. That's my man Jesse.
Okay, but it said Blind Zoe, right?
Yeah.
Is there a sighted Zoe? I need sighted Zoe to stop being so damn excited about Kevin Durant. This is 38-year-old Kevin Durant, not 28-year-old Kevin Durant. You're not getting the easy money sniper, okay? You getting the easy money geriatric. I still don't understand this trade from the Houston standpoint. I don't.
Hey, CK, you know me, I agree with you, dude. And this is going to be my final thing about the whole Kevin Durant trade, right? Last year, what happened to OKC? They had a meltdown in the finals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they said, you know what? We need an adult in the room, a grizzled vet, right? You know where they went to? They went to Chicago. They said, Chicago was like, can we have your first best? Nope, we're not trading SGA. Can we have your second best? Nope, we're not trading Jaden Williams. Can we have your third best? Nope, we're not trading Chet Holmgren. What about your fourth best, maybe fifth best? Yeah, we got a guy named Giddey on the bench who's pretty damn good, and we'll sweeten the deal to get the vet in and add to our young guys and make them better, right? Somebody went to the Rockets and said, you know what? Will you give us your first best or will you give us your second best? And they said yes. They said yes. You do not give up one of your top two guys on the team if you have all aspirations of competing to add that vet in and get them to kind of get over that hump. You don't do that because, like I said, it's not one of them things where Jalen is not a malcontent. Jalen, the only thing he did, and I don't want to get into people's personal business, the only thing he stayed in the news about because he likes Cougars. He didn't get in trouble. He wasn't a malcontent. It wasn't one of them things where it's addition by subtraction. He had a bad playoff series, his first time in the playoffs. That doesn't warrant you being jettisoned to me. That doesn't justify being jettisoned. It's plenty of guys who've had bad playoff series their first time in the playoffs. They're bad, and I'll go even further. Like I'm CK. I'm Team CK today, bro. It's just like the Wizards, bro. You got to think about it. Jalen was on these teams, on these bad Rockets teams, these horrible Rockets teams, and now he got on the team that they did good last season, but then now this is their first time in the playoffs, and you say we jettison. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And like I said, I don't think that it was an addition to the team of what we already had. I just think that we're gonna get some production out of him, but out of Kevin Durant, but we're not gonna get as much production that we'd have got if we would have had him and Green and Sengun and Amen. That would have been more production. And if I don't care, even if we did a 3-for-1 and said, you know what, you can have Jabari, Cam, and Shepard, I wouldn't even been mad with that because Cam didn't play, Reed barely made out the G League, and Jabari been so damn inconsistent it don't even make no sense. I wouldn't even had a problem with them moving all three of them to get Kevin Durant.
That's kind of where I was at with it. Again, I'm not going to rehash what I talked about yesterday, but I'm in the same camp that CK's in and the same camp that Larry's in. I respect Kevin Durant's gangster. I respect that he wakes up in the morning, goes to the gym, goes home, skips the barbershop, doesn't holler out late, none of that. He just goes and hoops.
Get the lotion.
Yeah, forget the lotion, forget the barbershop, none of that. He just goes and hoops. And I'm cool with that, but I'm trying to have confetti fall on my squad. This doesn't make us better. It just doesn't.
Dude, I mean, we got two Knicks fans in the house, dude. That's like them coming and let's just say it's an old vet. I don't know, even if it's LeBron, and they went to the Knicks and said, you know what? Can we have Bridges or can we have Cat for Bron? And you'd have been like, wait a minute. 40-year-old LeBron? Wait a minute. On a 1-year deal? Wait a minute. No. You can have OG and maybe some guys further down the bench, but not our key players. No, you don't do that. So, we'll see what happens, man. Hopefully there's some more moves to be made, but I'm not out for that KD trade. I know we're talking about trades, but I'll put at this, and I don't know if CK, man, it's serious you want to go there, but dude, Drew Holiday, bro. What are they doing in Portland, bro?
They're getting ready for new ownership is what they're doing in Portland. Now, keep in mind that Portland finished the season really hot. They were sniffing around the play-in towards the end of the season. Anthony Simons had to be moved because there's no space for him there. All right? There was no space for him.
You put Drew in.
Now, hold on. Drew Holiday came from Portland, right? He's won the Twyman Award multiple times there. He's beloved there. He's a smart guy. He's a leader. He's an adult in the room. And the good God, they need a voice to carry Chauncey Billups' message. They need a voice for that. This trade for Portland makes sense because remember, Portland is a unique fan base. You don't have to win a championship to be considered successful in Portland. You don't. All you have to do is have a competitive team in Portland. Think about some of the great Blazer players. Tell me how many of them won championships not named Bill Walton. Those players are beloved there. They still love Zach Randolph in Portland, bro.
Zach Randolph, Marcus Aldridge.
Okay, so you got to read the room when it comes to Portland Trailblazers and trades. For Portland, this is actually a smart trade because it buys them credit with the fan base. Mm-hmm. Because remember, there's a new ownership group coming. Now that Paul Allen has died and his daughter's finally selling the team. So what this does is this gives them the cushion right now until they sell the team. Because then they're going to clear house. Chauncey's gone, everybody gone. But this buys them time with the fan base because you brought back somebody the fans never wanted to be seen going anyway.
I can respect it. Anything else on basketball before we move?
I mean, this is my thing about Portland is like, I don't know if it's Chauncey or what, but like, dude, you don't need 14 guards and 38 centers. Like, dude, I mean, dude, think about it, dude. They still have Ayton, Klingon, and Robert Williams.
Ayton and Williams are going to be moved.
They have to, dude. It's like if I'm put like this, dude. Y'all gonna hear me screaming in the group chat tomorrow if Portland draft a guard or a center.
DeAndre Ayton is getting traded probably tomorrow.
You're gonna hear me screaming if they draft another guard or a center.
Well,
they need a 3 or a 4 guy. They I'm like, dude, come on. That when they drafted Klingon last year, we was like,
what the heck are they doing there?
Well, Klingon, I like that. I like that pick for Portland because he's everything DeAndre Ayton isn't.
If you're gonna move Ayton,
he's a rebounder.
They never moved Ayton.
They never moved Ayton.
But I think they gave DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton is talented, bro, and it's hard to give up on talent, okay? But dude, I'm telling you, DeAndre Ayton will not be a trailblazer by the end of July.
Dude, I'm gonna go even further, dude. And I know me and Sirius, we probably was in the reading the rumors and stuff. Dude, the Rockets actually tried to trade for Robert Williams last year, and Portland wouldn't move him. Wouldn't move him.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, why do you wouldn't move a guy that you got 3 guys all in the same position?
They collect them like socks.
Yes, bro. I think Chauncey over here, he probably like, you know what? You never can have enough centers.
They were also still going through a lot on the ownership level, so they may not have been allowed to make trades basically because of that whole ownership situation. Because remember, they were still infighting in with the family over who's going to be in charge to sell the franchise. So there's a lot going on in Portland, bro. There's a lot going on.
Yeah. So I think tomorrow we're gonna see a lot of activity with trades. I think tomorrow's gonna be a lot,
and I hope the Rockets are involved with it
because I think it's gonna be a lot of activity. Because, like I said, after those first 2 picks, it get real dicey. It's gonna get real dicey.
Mm-hmm.
So, moving on, gentlemen. Baseball, real quick, man. We got a lot of scores to go over tonight. The Yankees once again blew it. They are leading right now, 4-3. In the bottom of the 11th.
Are they losing or winning?
We are winning currently.
Okay.
We are winning currently. The Athletics are trailing 4-9. The Atlanta Braves, Atlanta Braves and the Mets are 7-3. The stupid Astros are winning currently 1-0. The Dodgers are doing Dodger things, 8-3. I wanted to kind of open this up, give you guys a blank canvas as we rush towards, the mid-season classic here. Wish you head up with the baseball, man. I mean, obviously the big talk last week was Ohtani coming back and pitching. Great clip that, Villain put together through on our socials for us, talking about Ohtani being a unicorn, but anything of note that you guys want to talk about baseball-wise before we get out of here?
The Reds, the Cincinnati Reds, just ate $25 million worth of salary. Cincinnati Reds don't eat salary. They just ate $25 million worth of salary on Heimer Candelario. Terry Francona has his hands firmly on the wheel in Cincinnati. Firmly on the wheel. Cincinnati by next season will be a power.
It's so funny. Terry Francona keeps coming out of retirement and figuring out a way to. Can you just stay retired so you go to Hall of Fame? But like, nah, man, I can still do this thing, right? You know what I mean? Like, he's funny.
Yeah.
Turn around anybody.
Yeah, turn around anybody, man. The only thing I didn't do in Cleveland was win the chip. I was right there.
That's it.
You know what I mean? So he's a hell of a manager. Yankees are tied 4-4.
4-4.
Yeah, 4-4. But I mean, like, the Mets are in a free fall. New York baseball right now is trash. Mets the Mets are in some serious trouble because I think the pitcher, they shut him down for a little bit, and then you got the manager coming out and saying, like, you can't rely on the stars to do everything. Even though Soto's having like, it's just not working in New York. They need a reset. Kind of get a break and get.
But they're only a game and a half out of first place in the division, though.
They were up. They were leading the division. They're like 1-9 in the last 10 games.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're pretty bad.
It's a marathon.
They're boo boo.
It's a marathon.
It's not a spread. You're right, but I mean, I think they need a reset. Yankees just not hitting at all. That's one of the big problems. I think the pitching has actually held up pretty well in series, but I think the hitting has kind of let them down. Timely hitting too, and they're a stupid baseball team still. They just Volpe is not a shortstop. I've been saying it for 2 years.
I've been saying it. I told you.
I said it too. How this kid got a Gold Glove at shortstop in his rookie year is beyond me, because he's one of the worst fielding shortstops I've seen.
He's a second baseman.
He's a second baseman. It's ridiculous. So they're just going to keep struggling with him, making stupid errors. They don't run the bases well. They don't play smart baseball. If it's not for Judge, then this team struggles. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Astros report. Talk to me, Larry. What's your head at? What's your squad, man?
I mean, we winning with guys that should be in AA. We the wounded, walking wounded, but they winning. So I take it for what it is, man. Hey, I mean, we waiting on pitching to come back. We're waiting on hitting to come back. But some kind of way we still keep winning, which is crazy. I mean, and I get it. Everybody else in the division is, doing what they typically do. But like I said, we'll see. Like I said, I think I'm hoping that these Astros do like they did the last 2 seasons and they get real hot after the All-Star. Like I said, hopefully we get Alvarez back pretty soon. We need his bat. Hopefully we get back Javier, maybe Garcia, maybe McCullers. McCullers, he's on the IL right now. Like I said, right now it's just if you're in AA on up with the Astros and you had like 4 or 5 good games, you might get called up. That's just basically
what I like that Houston is doing, which is where Boston is screwing everything up. You're allowing your young players to struggle so that they can have success. Instead of the minute they struggle, the manager benches them or the general manager starts talking about them and they start shutting them up. They ruined Christian Robinson in Boston, by the way. They already ruined him. Okay? They've already ruined this kid. Cam Smith struggled. You did not hear one negative comment about Cam Smith leaked from the organization. Not one. Not one. And he's starting to come around. Even Pena. The one thing that the Astros, and I hate the Astros. I don't hate the Astros. I hate this iteration of the Astros. I'm old enough to remember when the Astros, I like the Astros when we had Cesar Cedeno and Joaquin Andor and all these guys, all right? But what this iteration of the Astros does is they don't throw their young players under the bus. No matter what, they don't throw them under the bus. You don't hear leaks coming out of the organization. Wow, this guy, you don't hear it. And I like that because it allows your young players, which is why you're winning with AA players, because they know they're allowed to fail.
Well, I'll go further, CK, and this is what I like, even with Cam, because that's going to be interesting when De Leon come back. And are they going to send him down or put him in some type of, rotation or move him to another position or something like that, because he needs time to develop too. And CK, you hit it on the head. I think this is why the Astros have been doing Astros things, because they develop players. Astros play defense and don't make too many mistakes. And that's how they stay in games, and that's how they win games.
Right.
You rarely see an error on an Astros player. Rarely. So yeah, like I say, that's just how they winning. But I'll say this, and these are my two things that I liked about the current right now in baseball. Dude, did y'all see the A's broke ground?
Yeah.
A's broke ground, bro. That is going to be interesting. A's in Vegas, bro. That is going to be
it's
real
coming. That's what we're here for.
Yeah, it's coming, bro. And they got a lot of good young players, dude. I think, hey, look.
I'm excited to see them. I'm going to see them Friday. I'm excited to see them play.
Yeah.
Well, you want to see the A's?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think them being in Vegas, I think that that's when I think they're gonna really start trying to bring in like some vets and stuff and put a good product out. You got to keep the fans in the stands. And I'll go even further. I hate talking about my divisional rivals like that, but dude, I gotta give Cal Raleigh his props, bro.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, he's killing it right now.
He killing it, bro. Hey, I gotta give him his props, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
I hate to give a Mariner props, dude, but hey, Judge, everybody was like, oh, Judge is just crushing it coming out the gate, but Cal Raleigh just been still hitting them left and right, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's before the All-Star. You don't know.
After the All-Star break is when it's going to show up.
This is what I hope he doesn't do, because he is leading the league in home runs. I hope they don't put him in the home run derby.
He is.
No, he's definitely doing it.
Because they put him in the home run derby, he's going to tail off. Guys,
he's got bound to tail off because catching wears on you. So he was going to tail off anyway. But yeah, you're right. I want him in the home run derby, but I don't. I want him in it because he needs to get this recognition, because no one knows this man. No one knows him.
No. But I'm an Astros fan, and I know him because we faced him every
right. But I'm saying, but the national media
don't know.
If the national media couldn't pick Cal Raleigh out of a lineup now, okay, and he just broke Johnny Bench's record. But the problem is, he probably will do it, and then when he tails off, they're going to blame it on that. But I think it's going to be more so the fact that, listen, it's a heavy workload catching baseball games.
Yep. And it never works out when you see a guy start the season this hot. They put him in the home run derby, come out of the home run derby, and for some reason, it don't even matter if he catching or not. For some reason, when you come out of that home run derby, even if you win it, that second half of the season, it's downhill.
Yankees lost, Trevor.
So yeah, but Cal Raleigh.
Of course they did. I had no. Go ahead.
Hey, you know what else I'm gonna say?
They're not playing good baseball.
I was thinking about just not even just the Kyle Raleigh, because I gotta piggyback on it, because CK Aaron put my clip up today, dude. Ohtani still hitting. Oh, my bad, Barry. I thought it was serious. My bad. Hey, give Barry his props, man. Give Barry my props, dude. Hey, dude, Ohtani hitting 100, bro. You gotta let that dude pitch, man. Let him pitch, man. Hey, like I say, man, you can monitor him, but let him pitch, man. You got to. I want to see him go back into starting. I don't want to see him going 6, 7, 8 innings. I want to see him 3 to 5 innings, dude. Because that dude has command. And how many guys do we see aside from Skeens that are consistently hitting 100?
Okay, there's quite a few guys that consider hit 100, but we got to stop
with the command.
We got to stop with this, because a guy throws 100, that means something. That's not pitching. That's throwing.
I'm saying with the command, though. 100 with command.
Okay.
Not a lot of guys.
Actually, there's quite a few guys now that they can throw 100 with command. It's quite a few. That's not rare now. See, you want it to be rare, but it's not.
I want him to be him.
Take 10 teams, and I can pick a picture off there who throws 100 with command
As starter.
as a starter.
Some relievers. I know some relievers that can.
Starters.
But I want to see
the Tigers just put on the injured list. Jackson Jobe. They still have Tariq Skubal. You got Chris Sale in Atlanta. Chris Sale can still hit triple digits. He still has command. Bro, this is not a unique thing. I know you love Ohtani, but stop trying to act like he's doing something other people aren't doing.
Sale don't hit and Skeens don't hit. They don't hit.
We're talking about pitching.
But I'm saying from his pitching is pretty damn good, and I want to see him keep.
He's a third starter at best.
I want to see him keep pitching, bro.
Even okay, that's fine. I want to see him keep pitching. That's fine. Stop acting like he's the greatest pitcher on the history of the planet because he's not.
No, I've never said that, but he's a guy that can.
You just said he's doing 100 with command. You don't see that.
You don't see that as a guy that is not a set starter. He's not a everyday starter, dude. Like I give
no one's an everyday starter. It's an every fifth day starter.
Well, every fifth day, I give Ohtani his props because he is a guy who we have not seen who can do both, bro. And I'm gonna think about it. It's guys that are hitters that can pitch, but they suck. It's been guys
that they've never been given an opportunity.
Well, it's been guys that have came in and threw innings.
Rick Ankiel was a pretty good hitter and was a pretty good pitcher.
It's guys that came in, dude. You got to remember, I'm Astro, dude. Hampton was a pretty good pitcher. He could hit, but he wasn't no everyday hitter. He wasn't no everyday hitter. But
we don't know because they never gave him the opportunity.
No, because he could hit home runs for a pitcher, but he wasn't no everyday good hitter. So
we'll never know that because he wasn't given the opportunity.
Well, you know what I'm gonna say, CK, and I'm gonna go over here, right? And I don't know if the rest of y'all agree with.
By the way, I'm not giving any Dodger any credit, and you might have caught that by now.
Well, no, we're talking about a player. Somebody
does he play for the Dodgers?
No, but somebody has to be the first.
Does Ohtani play for the Dodgers? Yes or no?
Yes, but somebody has to be the first to open the door for other guys that can't do it.
I don't want it to be him.
Like I said, just like Travis Hunter, somebody has to be the first guy to open doors for other guys.
Okay, let it be somebody on the Reds, the Astros, the Brewers. I don't care. It ain't gonna be him.
But somebody has to be the first.
Yes.
Hey, CK saying that now until the Yankees offer him $3.5 billion.
He's no longer a Dodger now, is he?
And then he's gonna be like, I love Ohtani. Let Ohtani pitch every 3 days.
Bro, that's not how I get down. And Barry can tell you that. If I tell you I don't rock with a player, I don't care if he comes to the team, I don't rock with him.
Look, when he comes over there, then you're gonna be like, yep.
You don't hate Ohtani. You don't do that.
Huh?
You don't hate Ohtani.
I don't hate Ohtani. I'm just not as enamored as everyone else is.
I think you should be because he does it very well. Everything he does very well.
He's a great player.
He's a great.
I'm tired of the Glaze Fest.
I put it like this, and this is where
I think that's everybody. I think that's everybody. You know, you either become a hero or you play long enough to become a villain. Like everybody hates LeBron. Everybody hates KD at some point. Like I think there's a lot of players like that. People love Patrick Mahomes, and now they love to hate
Sasaki. I would have rather had Sasaki than Ohtani. As when we talking pitching, I would rather have Sasaki.
But this is where I go with this, Chandler, right? And I'm gonna use another football analogy. Deion, Hall of Fame corner. Mm-hmm. They let Deion play receiver. He was he was a niche. Like we've seen these niche players, right? But when have we seen players that actually could be a starting pitcher, even if it's a fifth day, he could be a starting pitcher and a starting positional player.
You can't say I'm gonna say this for the last time.
Given the opportunity.
If they've never been given an opportunity, we can't say that no one else could have done it.
Well, I'm saying is he's been given the opportunity, so I am enamored with it right now.
Okay.
I'm enamored with it. But somebody has to be the first to open the gate for other players.
All right.
I love it, dude.
If he had been American, he never would have been given this opportunity.
CK, you old enough to remember when guys played in leather helmets and played both ways. Man,
speaking of the NFL and that collusion, those collusion
talk about that.
Hey, Didn't you love it when guys play quarterback and kicked and play defensive back?
Yes, I did. I love the wing team.
Unk was one of them. Unk was one of them.
Absolutely.
That explains a lot.
That's why I can't remember a damn thing now.
That explains a lot. Exactly.
He was like, man, look, hey, I play center, guard, defensive tackle.
All at the same time. I was my whole offensive line. I handed the ball up to myself.
No.
And I had a full-time job in the off season.
That's right.
Looking like Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura. Yeah.
And I smoke Marlboros.
I'm just saying,
Put
man.
me in, coach.
I mean,
But yeah, so collusion in the NFL, man. I kind of want to end on this one real quick, man.
No such thing.
No
go
such
ahead.
thing.
Let's go. Hey, look, we got CK. I know CK won't jump in. Let's jump in, bro.
Talk to me, see.
I've said this many times. I'm gonna continue to say it. NFL players are cowards. They're cowards. Your union conspired with management to hide the results of the arbitrator's decision that proved that the owners colluded against you. That the owners went to each other and said, no, we're not doing this with these contracts. We're not giving these guys guaranteed money. Don't offer this guy that amount of money. Your union conspired with ownership to not release these results to the public or to you. And I have yet to hear one player say, I'm sorry, what? There was collusion and y'all didn't want to let us know? There was a settlement? There was a settlement? How do you even know that you got the right amount of money in the settlement? And not one NFL player, not one. But you know what? It's funny because when it comes time to do the performative art in the end zone, there you are. And when it came time to get that damn gospel hymn, Black National Anthem out behind, that gospel hymn, there you were. But when it comes time to stand up for something like Lifetime Medical, when it comes time to fight for things like, hey, the results of all of the CTE examinations that are going on, you're nowhere to be found. But Micah Parsons, keep talking about, NFL players can play in the NBA. You're a bunch of cowards, and you deserve every bad thing that's happening to you.
Aaron, you're on mute.
Very well said from CK, Larry. Where's your head at on this, bro?
I mean, Bear, you want to jump in, bro? Or you want me to go?
No, I mean, listen, it just proves that the players union has no power. They have no power in this league. They have no leverage. They can't even afford at this point to stand up and say, this is wrong. You guys colluded. What are they going to do? Walk out? League don't care. The league, this is how the league is built. It's built on the shield. The shield runs it. And the players have no power. They have no juice. The NBA is a players' league. MLB has guaranteed contracts, and the NFL is the most powerful league in the world. Period. Nothing else to say. Because everything Chandler said is correct, but I won't say that they're cowards. I'll just say they have no power. They have no leverage in this situation, and it just proves it. The best that they can do is get a sign put into the end zone, and then when the president says, to take, you should take it down, or whatever he wants to say years ago about them kneeling down, you just cower. They have no leverage here. They have nothing.
Larry, talk to me, man. Where's your head at with all this?
So I'm kind of like this, right? I think we all seen the movie Ray.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say? Scratch a lot, found a thief. Dude, remember I think I've said it a bunch of times on the show, bro. How do you go to a collective bargaining agreement and they say, oh, we're giving you guys 40% of the revenue? Well, show me the books. No. We're giving you 40%. You don't need to see the books. We're giving you 40% of the revenue. Just trust me. Trust us. And these guys literally said, you know what? We don't need to see the books. We'll take less practices. We'll take we can run around in shorts. You don't even allow them to open the
Guardian caps.
But then you see these guys selling teams for $7 billion, bro. $7 billion. So, like I said, dude, they have the weakest union. They have the weakest players, dude. It's like this is the part that irks the hell out of me, right? And I get it. There are more players on an NFL team. But if your league is the number one sport, that means you're creating more revenue. That means that you, even though you have 53 players, that means that there's more money to go around, right? And the NFL is over and over and over shown time and time again, it's the Billionaires Boys Club. It's the Billionaire Boys Club. They damn it, I've been trying to be good all day, but they colluded on them contracts. They talk about stuff like that. You know, hey, look, we don't want no player making over $100 million. We don't care who it is. No player making and they'll go and they'll be like, you know, oh, the salary cap is only going to be $300 million. Your salary cap is 300. We just talked about basketball going $100 million over their cap, but yet and still football cap is like 300 million, and they franchises are literally Washington's over what, 7 billion?
Mm-hmm.
That ain't even the best organization in football, and so for 7 billion, dude, that should alone let you know they've colluded, dude. Damn it, I'm gonna say it on the show, bro. They colluded against Colin Kaepernick. They colluded against Shedeur Sanders, bro. They are known for colluding. Dude, CK, you the senior on the team. You know what the NFL used to do? Every time they would want to strike, or they did supposedly go on a strike, CK knows. Oh, yeah, you ain't clashing them checks. You know what? Tony Dorsett, you know what? I think you should cross this picket line, bro. They send operatives out. They've always colluded. They've always colluded. They're still colluding. They're going to keep colluding until they players have the balls to say, you know what? I don't think we need to go and buy this, you know, $13 billion house. I think we need to put away some money because we really do sit our asses out a year. They don't have the balls for it. They don't, dude, I'm going to be real with y'all. We talked about baseball, right? Baseball said, damn y'all, you gonna miss the World Series effing with us. I'm trying to be clean. Damn y'all. Them on said, you know what? Wait. We're gonna come to the table. You know what? NBA players, even in that bubble, they was borderline. They was like, you know what? We may not have no finals around here. Donna said, wait. We're gonna sweeten it. We're gonna create a bubble for y'all, right? Think about it. If the NFL players had the balls, right? I'm talking about kahunas. I'm talking about we need some South Park, his dad bouncing on him to say, you know what? We're willing to sacrifice a Super Bowl. Barry, we talked about how much money the NFL makes from a Super Bowl. If they had the balls to say, if we don't get what we want, you're gonna miss the Super Bowl. Oh, I can bet you right now, Jerry and all of them would have been like, you want to see the books, you want to see the cliff notes, you want to see the, hey, what do you want? They would have came to the table and they would have told them you can get whatever you want. But the problem with the NFL is, I've said this over and over time. If you watch NFL broke, you know who the brokest players are? NFL players. And it gets even more mind-boggling because we have 3 educated guys on the show, right? How in the hell does the NFL have a policy that you must go to college for 3 years? 3 years. That means you're either close to having a degree or you already got your degree. These guys over sitting up here taking pool management and water turf crap instead of having their asses in these classes that actually teach them how to manage their money, how to be able to say, you know what, we can't.
That's more parenting than anything, though. That's not the NFL. That's more parenting.
Yeah,
no,
that's
they have to go to college for 3 years to even go to the NFL.
Well, you don't have to go to college for 2 years. You have to be
high school.
21.
Yeah.
NFL?
I think this is the age, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it
It's
has
an
to be
age.
3
It's
years.
not years.
It has to be
years
3
out of
years
high
removed
school.
from your
you gotta be
college
3 years out of high
your
school.
graduation.
I
3
thought
years
you
out.
had to be 21. Well,
No, you can redshirt and play 2 years, or
Yep.
you can play 3 years, but it has to be 3 years from your high school graduation, right?
Yep.
So that means you've been on a college
who
campus
made that
for 3
rule?
years.
Who made that rule?
Yeah, but I get it. But and I get it. It's other particulars why I wouldn't want to see it. But think about it. You've been on a college campus for 3 years, and you that stupid that you don't know how to manage your own freaking money. 3 years.
Now, Larry, I'm gonna keep it a
3
bean
years.
with you. I'm gonna keep it a bean.
I get it.
You know where I'm going with this. I'm gonna be
I
clean.
get it, bro. I get it.
Like these brothers are.
It's sad, bro. It's sad.
I get it, but that goes to parenting.
It do.
You know what
But
I'm
it goes to parent, it goes to a lot more to that because they gotta have the will too. But it's sad that you got guys who are literally one and done in college and come into the NBA, barely have had a semester of college, and they can sit there and say, you know what? Yeah, they do get paid more money, but yeah, we can fight for what we want. We can sit out, we can manage our money. You have guys who literally in the MLB who they get drafted straight out of high school.
Mhm.
Straight from they still got the diploma in their hands,
Mhm.
and they can say, you know what, we smart enough to know what we need to fight for. But
they go to AAA and do that and can go back to school. Like the structure of the NFL is completely different.
But you got guys who literally were on college campuses for 3 years, bro. 3 years. And you guys can't even say to yourselves, you know what? Maybe we do need to start, like CK said, we need to start putting money into this fund so that we can maintain ourselves in case we do got to sit out a year. That is mind-boggling to me, bro. Dude, that they literally have the weakest, I'm talking about weakest union. But I can tell you right now, every last one of them owners will be personally beating on their door if they thought they were going to miss a Super Bowl. Regular season game, they may say, you know what? We'll bring in some UFL, some replacement players. They may do that for a couple of regular season games, right? But you get closer and closer to that Super Bowl. Ain't no, Barry, you in marketing, right? Ain't nobody going to pay for no Super Bowl ad for no goddamn replacement players. Ain't nobody going to do that.
Doggone. He said doggone.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Hey,
You've been good, kid. You've been good.
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna pay for that.
No, they might, but they wouldn't pay as much. I mean, you'll be surprised. I just, you know, the only thing that people will pay for is sports advertising. You know what I mean? Like you look around, like, do you guys watch TV as much as anybody? When's the last time you saw a Pepsi commercial on TV?
But nobody watched the UFL championship.
But seriously, I'm asking you a serious question. Like, when's the last time you saw a Coke commercial on TV or a Pepsi commercial?
I watch a lot of sports. So I see
new product coming out. They will.
When's the last time you saw a Pepsi commercial on TV? I'm asking you a serious question.
I don't remember, but whenever they come out with a new product,
only during the Super Bowl. And where do you see Pepsi in a movie?
That's not true.
Huh? No, it's true. That's 1,000% true.
No,
they don't advertise.
I watch, bro. I'm in here watching a whole lot of TV. I'm seeing soda commercials, Pepsi and Coke commercials all the time
during sports.
You might be watching on that old TV with the
sports.
Yeah. Well, you see, the big tube with the knob. You got to get the plier, the thin plier to turn the channel. No, but no, seriously. If it's not sports, you will not see a lot of advertising. So I don't want to get into an advertising. We can talk about it later. But
yeah, but I'm just saying, Barry, if they threaten the Super Bowl and we're not going to play a Super Bowl,
that's your leverage. That's your leverage because that's your money.
But they're not going to do that.
No, if they were smart, they would. They don't want to lose their money. They're more worried about losing their money now instead of having more later. That's
exactly. And this is why I say coward. Because in order to make things better, first of all, you guys are parents. No, you guys are parents, right? Mm-hmm. Your job is to go through some things and sacrifice so that your kid can have a better life than you had. Period. End of story. Mm-hmm. Whatever you have to do. My job as a black man at the age I am is to have gone through things and suffered some things so that that young black man can have a better life than I had. That's my responsibility. Their responsibility is to make it better for those that come behind them. So, if that means you got to miss some checks, then miss the damn checks. If that means you got to suffer a little bit, then you got to suffer. Okay? But they're not willing to do that. Remember, this is the same union that screwed over a generation of players because they said, we're tired of these guys coming and making more money than us. So we want a rookie salary cap, and they effectively got rid of the NFL middle class. They cut their own throat because they were jealous that somebody that, well, he hasn't done what I've done. Bro, that's the way it works. You made $1 an hour so that I can make $2. I make $2 so that one can make $3. That's the way it's supposed to work. Not, I don't want you to make $2 because I'm making $2. That's not how life works.
Yep. Dude, and like I said, it's like I'm agreeing with CK. They cowards, but at the same time, they and it's funny that football players are supposed to be the toughest guys, toughest sports players. It's so weak. Yep. You probably run up on one of them guys in the street and punch them in their face, and they're gonna go running, crying for their mama. Y'all supposed to be the toughest. Y'all supposed to be the toughest one.
I live around a lot of them, but
I ain't doing all that.
I ain't saying all that, but I'm just saying a lot of them guys, they fake tough guys. They fake tough guys.
They need to get big and set screens. They need to be like Mama Jordan.
Yep.
There you go. With that being said, gentlemen, I'm gonna get you guys out of here, man. This has been a crazy show. I'm looking forward to doing more with you guys. Before we get out of here, CK, you know what to do, man. Give me a plug and a close out, bro.
I was a lot of fun tonight. I enjoyed the content, enjoyed the topics. I'm getting ready to go watch Ironheart on Disney Plus, which also has Hulu, Killer Killers.
my brother said he wasn't impressed, Jalen. So sorry.
There's something wrong with your brother, bro. I'm just gonna say it.
All right. I need him to do me. I need him to give me an intro theme for the podcast.
He constantly downplays stuff that I like. He's been doing that for years. I don't know what his problem is with me. Right? But other than that, man, it was a lot of fun tonight. It's summertime. If you're a veteran, friend of veteran, family members of veterans, there's a lot of activities and things, a lot of free stuff. In a lot of states, fishing licenses and hunting licenses are free or hugely discounted. There's PGA Hope, free golf lessons. Go to your local Y. There's a lot of stuff to do. Get out of the house and do something positive.
All right, my dude. Appreciate you, man. Larry, you know what to do. Get us out of here, big dog.
Oh, man, it's always a pleasure, man. Even if we don't agree on stuff, man. Tonight been good. We had our Rockets excel moment last night. Barry, y'all must be still over there with crushed dreams and hopes over there, man. It must be still painful over there, So we go. Hopefully, we get a Knicks crying session.
Orange and blue sky,
Yeah, we're trying. We're trying.
Hey, that's what it should be called, orange and blue tears over here. So hey, hopefully we'll get one of them soon. We got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe.
Yeah.
I'm like y'all. Hey, look. Hey, Coach ain't here. If you see the show, share the show. If you ain't got nothing to do tomorrow, we got the WWE show tomorrow, right?
No.
Yep. No wrestling tomorrow?
No.
Okay. So
following week.
Okay, so next week, make sure you tune in for the regular show and for the wrestling show. Don't be like and subscribe it, because then you'll know when we got a show. Because if you subscribe to us, you'll know when we got our spin-off shows. Even if you don't like the topic, you can tune in for the content. It's always good. But yeah, always a pleasure, bros. I'm gonna let y'all get out of here. I know y'all probably counting Z's. I know Barry's past his bedtime.
So we'll get you out of here. Thanks, I appreciate you, big dog. Villain, you know what to do.
Yeah, man. We got shows all week. Launchpad was really good. I hope everybody enjoyed that. The Rockets talk right in time for the draft. I'm sure we'll do an NBA show for the Knicks pretty soon. We'll probably do a Yankee show at some point. Having fun doing that. Wrestling show is always a pleasure to do with those guys. Shout out to NDT. Those guys do a great job. Probably jump on a show with them pretty soon. Shout out to Coach, Miss Stacy, the first lady. You know I love you. And Sirius, I love you, Sirius. Right. So listen, we got content. We're gonna do more and get you guys some more content. But check us out.
Appreciate you, villain, man. Yo, it's your boy Sirius repping our 412 and the 703, man. Such a privilege and an absolute pleasure doing this show with these gentlemen every week. Shout out to everybody who's been rocking with us and supporting us. My friends over at the Nonsense and Deep Thoughts podcast. My man Justin, Aaron, Corey, who's taking a sabbatical, my man Jared, and everybody's been rocking with us, man. I say this all the time as I close, man. God is good, even though sometimes people aren't, man. God bless. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.